Welcome. We're going to do question 3 on Form A and Form B. So take a moment to pause and copy down the parallelogram. There wasn't a parallelogram in the problem because you were supposed to draw one. Now, what is the rule? We know every parallelogram, you should be able to name parallelogram A, B, C, D. So you want to go around in a circle and it says opposite angles of parallelograms are equal. And that's always true if it's a parallelogram. So what does that mean? That means necklace, necklace, opposite angles are equal, and these opposite angles would be equal. So it doesn't mean 4 equal angles. It means there's 2 angles, 2 skinnies, 2 fatties, 2 skinnies, 2 fatties. Now, we're not sure which one's skinny and fat, but we do know opposite angles are equal. So if a parallelogram is named A, B, C, D, you know these 2 are equal, A and C, and you know B and D are equal, and that's just the way it is. It's always true for parallelograms. So I'm gonna set up both of these equations. We know opposite angles are equal, so these 2 have to be equal. 4x plus 8y has to equal 20. These have to be equal. 19 has to equal 2x plus y. Now we also know then that these 2 would have to be equal. So 11 would have to equal x minus y. And these 2 would need to be equal. Negative 30 has to equal negative 4y plus 2y. Now I'm looking at these. This one's lined up a little bit better. See, this is poised for cancellation. In fact, y minus y would just all the way go away. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. So y, take away y is 0. This is a 1y. 2x plus a 1x would be a 3x. And 19 plus 11, 10, carry the 1, that'd be 30. So pretty quick to our answer here. We get x is equal to 10, and we've solved the mystery of the x, so we can choose either equation to plug this back in. I'm going to pick this one, I guess. So I'm going to rewrite the equation, x minus y, and we know to plug in here. So 11 is equal to 10 minus y. So I could subtract 10 on both sides, I get 1. And I guess I could divide a negative 1 on both sides. So 1 divided by a negative 1 would just be, again, a negative 1. So my answer here is 10, negative 1. Now let's take a look at this one. It looks like if we moved the 4x over here, that would cancel. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. If I add a 4x on both sides, this equation, I like the layout. And I'd like to have y over here too. Now I'm realizing, you know what? I probably could have rewritten this a little bit better. Instead of adding 4x on both sides, I could have written this on the left and that on the right, right? Doesn't matter which one I write. So I'm just going to totally start over. Here's my first equation. 4x plus 8y is 20. And I'm going to put negative 4x plus 2y is equal to negative 30. I could have written it in a way that they're lined up just right. Okay, perfect. So these are going to cancel, and I get 0. 8y plus 2y is 10y. 20 minus 30 is negative 10. Divide by 10 on both sides, I get negative 1. I've solved the mystery of the y. Now I just need either of these equations to plug back in to solve the mystery of the x. So I'm just going to rewrite this first equation. 4x plus 8y is 20. I know y is negative 1. So 4x plus 8 times a negative 1 is 20. So 4x minus 8 is 20. Adding 8 on both sides, I get 28. Dividing 4, I get x is 7 because 7 times 4 is 28. Looking good. So I've solved for x, I've solved for y. This is how you work question 3 from the test. Thanks for joining us.